So, we have a little bit of mystery on our hands today, and I'm challenging you all to solve my mystery. I will give you details later, but, what did I do with this? Oh, so this is our last, and the winner is, who gets the globe? It's the last one, as the magazine ends in 2016. Well, actually, technically, they went out, in, 2018. They had 2 years of digital, and they erased, when they went out completely after 2018, they took all the digital issues down. And unfortunately, I never occurred to me to make any screenshots or anything like that back then. I just thought the magazine would be around for a while, and it's my regret that I didn't do any of that. So this is the last one, and next week we will be going forward. If you've watched, where'd it go? We finished up with I think it's this one. We finished up with July 2016 is where the magazine ended. They did digital from August 16 through a little bit of 18 before they went out. So we will, starting next week, we will be moving forward in our Flashback Monday. We will start with August of 2016. Of course, there'll be no reviews, but I'll be able to tell you the new releases for August of 2016, and we'll talk about them. So that's what we're going to do moving forward until we catch up with ourselves, and then we need to figure out something new. If anybody goes back and watches the old, I did start in 2007, and those were kind of small because I was just doing what I basically owned at the time. I own more now. And I was thinking maybe redoing a couple of those, expanding it to include more books, and I just mixed them all up now. But we'll see about that. But right now we're going to be moving forwards in our, I need that one. Where's the, I just messed myself up something terrible. Oh, and by the way, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kaye. This is where I read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy stuff going on here. And just think, it's over 2 minutes in and I didn't tell you who I am. And I lost a magazine. But anyways, this is, and the winner is, every year, Romantic Times Book Review gave out the best of awards, and unfortunately I was going to do this video tomorrow, and I decided to go ahead and film it today. So the display in the library is coming down today, and I would have had my little trophy, but I decided that since we've been using the globe the whole time, we'll just continue and use the globe for the final thing. I would play the music, but I have learned that the computer doesn't pick up the music. I would have to do a short with my phone. So I'm hoping there's some of you out there that will solve the mystery, because there is a mystery. And I've even reached out to the author, and the author was graciously responded to me. And her answer was, I don't know. So, let's read our thing. Another year, another great batch of books. Readers, authors, publishers, and RT enjoyed many wonderful stories across all genres. In 2015, we received more than 200 books, and we reviewed more than 200 books in each issue, which included self-published works and traditionally published novels. We also had plenty of web-exclusive books this year, too, making a grand total of 3,100 books for 2015. Naturally, our 50-plus reviewers and editorial staff had a lot to sort through. We searched, reread, and fought to find the best of the best. Winners will be announced in the May issue of the RT prior to our much anticipated Las Vegas convention from April 27 to April 12th to April 17th, 2016. On April 15th, winners attending the festivities will be honored by your annual awards. There's also one more that I might do. But the first couple of years they did it, they just named the author. In later years, they named the author and the book that they used for the Seal of Excellence Award. And if anybody wants to see videos on any of the others, because I only did a select few, and even though I only did a select few, this video is going to take probably 2 hours. But the nominees for Reviewer's Choice, they break down all the Harlequins. So if you'd like to see one on the Harlequins, I didn't do inspirationals. I didn't do erotica. I didn't do sci-fi. I didn't do multicultural. I didn't do mainstream for these four or five things. So if you want to see any of those, please let me know. We can always do a short on one of those. And, okay, now, I just lost my thing. Okay, so Best Romantic Suspense. Your first nominee is Lisa Renee Jones. And can't believe it, but our first book is our first picture, Chrissy. Picture, Chrissy. It's a topic. Let me just see if it's in the tops, but I don't think so. Yes, it is. Cancel the picture, Chrissy. There you go. Escaping Reality. Alright, and all of these got 4 or 4.5 stars in the magazine. They were the top picks. That's why they nominated them. That little decoration there. Oh, and Scorcher means there's lots of sex. Intoxicating, intense, and deeply seductive, Escaping Reality immediately draws you into the suspenseful situation surrounding Amy, her real identity, and her mysterious protector. These dynamic elements blend perfectly with an erotic romance that will knock your socks off with its intensity and heat. A symbol taped to a mirror with instructions on escape lets Amy know danger is near and it's time to run, like she has numerous times before at the behest of her mysterious handler. Amy's seatmate on her flight out of town is architect Liam Stone, a sinfully attractive man who sparks an immediate connection, one that makes her wish for things best left alone. Liam doesn't press the issue of secrecy because he has demons of his own, but he knows she's in trouble and he will do his best to protect her. Her new relationship gives her courage to search for answers, and her memories about her family are slowly resurfacing. Yet Amy remains suspicious, especially her handsome neighbor and mysterious new boss. And your next nominee is Sharon Sala, Wild Hearts. And Sharon Sala, Wild Hearts. And Sala is a master at telling a story that is both romantic and suspenseful. The plot's two mysteries weave together and will have readers on the edge of their seats, waiting to see what happens next. Dallas and Trey are a couple who readers cannot help but root for. With this amazing story, Sala proves why she is one of the best writers in the genre. Already shaky from nightmares that go back to the night she lost her best friend. Betty Jakes heads to buy fresh eggs from a local farmer, Dick Phillips, who was also in an accident. When she arrives, she finds Dick hanging in his barn and can't shake the weird feeling that this has something to do with that night. Police Chief Trey Jakes rushes to the scene after a frantic call from his mother. Dick's daughter Dallas needs to be notified, and Trey makes the call. She does not believe that her father killed himself and will stop at nothing to find the truth. In looking for clues, Dallas finds that her father was about to lose his farm. After learning that her father had a plan, she decides to fulfill his last wish, putting her in the path of two criminals who will do anything to get what their boss wants. The next nominee is Hard to Let Go, Laura Kaye. And she was in last year's nominees too. Oh, a naked guy on the cover. I did start. I never did finish it though. 4.5 stars. After 4 intense books and several novellas, Kaye brings her Hard Ink series to a spectacular conclusion that successfully wraps up the overarching mystery and brings closure to her compelling characters. Filled with edgy danger and drama, this final chapter spotlights disgraced Special Forces team member Beckett Murder and gutsy prosecutor Kat Rixey as they struggle to combat the danger they face, as well as the white-hot attraction between them. Although the Hard Ink team survived a rocket attack against their building, 2 members of the Raven Riders Motorcycle Club were not so lucky. Kate Rixey has arrived to not only help her brothers Nick and Jeremy, but also to distance herself from a stalker ex. As it happens, a case Kate's office is investigating could hold the key to finding the identity of who betrayed the Hard Ink team. Beckett and Kate strike sexual sparks immediately, but Beckett doesn't want Kat to wind up in the crosshairs. Okay. And our next nominee is Obsession Falls. Miss Christina Dodd. Obsession Falls. Dodd is back with the second extraordinary Virtue Falls book. This gut-wrenching tale of determination and survival is amazing to read. While camping in the Sawtooth Mountains, Taylor Summers stumbles upon a kidnapping and potential murder of a young boy. Taylor manages to distract the killer so the boy escapes, but she becomes the target. After hiding in the mountains, Taylor learns somehow she has been named one of the kidnappers. Surviving is horrifically difficult, but Taylor manages and makes her way to Virtue Falls, where she rechristens herself Summer. She knows there is a charming psychopath on the center of this drama, and if she ever is to get her life back, she must find a way to reach Kennedy McManus, the boy's uncle and target of this deadly game. And our final nominee for Best Romantic Suspense is Miss Laura Griffin. Shadowfall. An expert at creating mystery and suspense, that book hooks readers from the first page. Griffin's detailed description, well-crafted, intriguing plot, and clear-cut characters are the highlights of her latest. Liam and Tara are equally strong characters, and Liam's intelligence complementing Tara's intuitiveness and their attractive being fiercely passionate. Special Agent Tara Rushing is called to a horrific crime scene in the woods where the mutilated body of politician Catalina Reyes is found. Her key suspect is Liam Wolf, security expert and Catalina's bodyguard. From the time Tara follows Liam home, she keeps a close watch on him. Yet, as she works with him to find the killer, an intense attraction develops. Of course, why not? Okay, so your nominees for Best Romantic Suspense were Lisa Renee Jones' Escaping Reality, Sharon, Sala, Wild Hearts. Laura Kaye, Hard to Let Go. Christina, Dodd, Obsession Falls. And Laura Griffin, Shadowfall. And your winner was where's the your winner was Escaping Reality. Lisa Renee Jones. And the globe goes to Lisa Renee Jones. Okay. Okay. Your nominees for Best Historical Romance. That does not seem right. Oh. Tessa Dare Say Yes to the Marquise. Four and a half stars. Inheriting a castle ever after title is a life-changing experience and one that comes with surprises, unexpected romance, and meddlesome friends and family. Cleo Whitmore has waited 8 years for Piers Brandon, the Marquis of Granville, to marry her. Now that she's inherited Castle Troll, she's not going to wait any longer. All she needs is for Piers' brother to sign the documents that will dissolve their betrothal and set her free. Rafe Brandon, however, refuses to sign away his brother's future happiness. He will plan the wedding of the century to keep Theo and Piers together. But Rafe doesn't count on falling in love. Hey, where you going? Nominee number 2, Eloisa James, Four Nights with the Duke. And I have, so I can do this. March. What does it say? Oh, that's the next one. I'm sorry. All right, wait a second. So, Eloisa James, Four Nights with the Duke. There she is. Four Nights with the Duke. Four and a half stars. James proves that wit is sexy and romance is smart. Her latest Desperate Duchess novel does it again with unforgettable heroine, a masterful hero, and a very wise little boy. When young, love-struck Mia writes a poem to the future Duke of Pindar, she becomes the butt of his friends' jokes. So she vows revenge. 10 years later, Mia is a published writer and quite capable of handling her life. But she needs a husband if she is to save her disabled nephew, Charlie, from his ruthless uncle. Mia blackmails Vander into marriage. In anger, Vander demands 4 nights a year and vows that Mia will beg for his attention. Though she can create wonderful stories, Mia has difficulty communicating her feelings, and Vander must overcome his emotional baggage if their marriage is to succeed. Rosanne Bittner, Do Not Forsake Me. And why did I... Oh, okay. Well, it's on the cover here. And I had pulled this here. She thanks RT for her nomination. And there's the book. Rosanne Bittner. And the review is 22. Do Not Forsake Me, 4.5 stars. More than 2 decades in the making, Bittner's sequel to Outlaw Hearts is an emotional powerhouse. The strong flavor of the Wild West combines with a beautiful love story, creating a true saga of the era. When Miranda Hayes first tangled with notorious outlaw Jake Harkner, neither realizes that the love between them would withstand many obstacles. And the last 20 years, Jake and Miranda, their children and their grandchildren, make the home in lawless Oklahoma territory, where Jake and his son are lawmen. Life is good, yet Jake is haunted by his past, and Miranda's steadfast love brings him peace. But his sins are never far away, and when a band of outlaws ride into town, their lives are shattered. And this is her thank you for the nomination. I bet she remembers the review. Sorry, couldn't have that. Sorry. That was uncalled for. Everybody in the category was nominated equally. Oh. We will have to go on a treasure hunt later. If you notice, our neck is empty. Our neck is naked. We have taken off our necklace. I should try and find that video. She pretends to wash her face, and her collar is quite loose. And she can actually get her paw under it and fling it across the room. I don't know where it is. It was here before. But anyways, The Art of Sinning. A lady I know, books I read, Miss Sabrina Jeffries, one of my authors. The Art of Sinning. With every book, Jeffrey grows into a more accomplished writer, whose memorable characters, unforgettable stories speak to the readers on so many levels. There's pure romance, sexuality, and wondrous repartee. The men who found the St. George's Club vowed to keep the women in their lives safe from rogues like them. American artist Jeremy Keene will not take up the reins of the family business. His sister does a perfectly fine job running the textile company. Instead, he decides to roam Europe, gaining fame for his realistic paintings. It's the fact that his models are all women in famous Covent Garden brothels that interests Lady Yvette Barlow. The tall, stunning woman is just the model Jeremy needs for his masterpiece. Over her brother's objection, Yvette agrees to pose for Jeremy in exchange for his help in finding her nephew. It is rumored the boy and his mother are in a brothel. From the moment she begins modeling, Yvette realizes she's courting scandal. Jamie seems to understand her deepest needs, and she is unable to deny her desire for him. Aww. Oh, I didn't see that. And it's autographed. Not to me, but to somebody else. That's how you know it's a real autograph, when it's to somebody. That they actually met the author in person. And yet she gave up the book. She gave it to a thrift shop in brand new condition. I wonder if she even read it. There's no lines on it at all. The next nominee is The Legend of Lyon Redmond, Julianne Long. Alright. This one here in red. You know, I need a better camera. If anybody wants to buy me a computer. Let's see. Oh, that's better. And The Legend of Lyman Redmond. 4.5 stars. Penroyal fans rejoice. Lyon and Olivia's story is finally here. Long has been working up to this novel for years, and it doesn't disappoint. Her signature humor and sensuality are here, as it is a high degree of sexual tension that nearly singes readers' hands. She's getting married are the words that send Lyman Redmond rushing home to reclaim the heart of the woman he loved and left years ago. Olivia Eversea legend and song swirl around Olivia. After years of turning down suitors, she suddenly accepts the proposal, setting tongues wagging. Olivia is tired of waiting for Lyon to return home. She knew they were star-crossed lovers from the start, but Lyon has his own ideas, and with days of her marriage, he comes back hoping to reclaim the woman he's never forgotten. Shouldn't he come home the day before the wedding? So now she's got to get a divorce. There's just something wrong with that. And the final nominee in this category of Best Historical Romance is Elizabeth Hoyt, who we also know. Hey, where you going? Hey, where you going? You need to find your necklace. There's a naked cat in this house. Well, obviously I've got the page wrong. Nope. I've got the magazine wrong. Oh, she's on the cover. Elizabeth Hoyt. The Sweetest Scoundrel. Maiden Lane and its inhabitants have long captivated readers, and the latest series installment is just as enchanting as fans could desire. This is a story of love's healing powers, family courage, and overcoming the past. Asa Makepeace is big and bold and bawdy, just like the theater he loves so much, and he's determined to rebuild Heart's Folly. The gardens are nearly complete when Eve Dinworthy, his investor's sister, wants an account of the escalating costs. A childhood horror left Eve in fear of being touched by a man, and also Ava is the largest, loudest man she's ever met. Though at first he scares her, Eve is drawn to him, as Asa is intrigued by Eve's fascination with sexuality and is only too happy to help her understand. So, your nominees for Best Historical Romance were Tessa Dare Say Yes to the Marquess, Eloisa James, Four Nights with a Duke, Rosanne Bittner, Do Not Forsake Me, Sabrina Jeffries, The Art of Sinning, Julianne Long, The Legend of Redmond, and Elizabeth Hoyt, The Sweetest Scoundrel. And the winner is if I can get this. And the globe goes to Eloisa James, Four Nights with a Duke. Okay, the nominees for Best Historical Fiction. And this first lady, I have this book. I don't know where it is. I have it. It's in this house someplace. But she's still popular today. Her books are still selling like hotcakes today. Kristin Hannah, The Nightingale. And I know that book is in this house. But anyways, Kristin Hannah, The Nightingale, 4.5 stars, 1939, France. Hannah crafts a compelling World War II novel that will grab readers, drawing them into the story of two sisters whose lives, beliefs, and worlds are torn apart by war. Told from two different perspectives and 50 years apart, the story is realistic, chilling, and adventurous and heartbreaking. Vivian and Isabel are closest sisters, even though they are very different women. Isabel decides to live her life in Paris, where she can be as bold as she wants. Vivian marries and, with her husband and daughter, lives out of the country. When Vivian's husband is sent off to fight, Isabel arrives to help her sister run the estate. As the war escalates, their lives and relationships undergo radical changes. Isabel becomes involved with the resistance, aiding downed Allied soldiers by ferrying them to Spain. Vivian must billet Nazi soldiers in her home to risk her daughter's safety. Meanwhile, she hides Jewish children from the invaders. The decisions they are forced to make strain their bond and have long-reaching consequences. And these women are survivors. The next one is the Tiffany girl. Sorry, I just had it. Deeanne Gist, the Tiffany girl. This is a wonderful book. This 1893 World's Fair serves as a perfect backdrop, and Tiffany makes her for an interesting focal point. The charming characters are testing the waters and defying the rules in an era where society expects single women to act a certain way. Flossie Jane is a talented artist, but she feels her talent is being wasted. Then Louis Tiffany handpicks her to help finish his chapel for the upcoming World's Fair. Her neighborhood resents Flossie for spending his quiet life with all her new ideas, but he soon opens his heart to the possibility that Flossie is just what he needs. As Flossie works to fulfill her dreams, she learns that there is a pitfalls to being a new woman, and begins to think that maybe it's more than she can handle. Now she needs to decide if she'll turn tail and head home or take her chances and lets the chips fall where they may. Your next nominee is The Taming of the Queen. No, Queen? Yes. Taming of the Queen. Philippa Gregory. We have seen her many, many, many times on this channel in Flashback Mondays. The Taming of the Queen. Gregory manages to make a history lively, fascinating, and real, even if she puts her own twist on what readers believe they know. The impeccable research shows in every page, while her remarkable realistic dialogue and remarkable characters come to life. Gregory is a historian with a heart and wit who makes history accessible. Caitlin Parr, Henry VIII's sixth wife, was not like the others. She was more mature and smart enough to keep her head. Though in love with Thomas Seymour, Catelyn weds Henry at his command and quickly learns to navigate the devious court and hide her true passions. After ailing Wendy adores his bride, who cares for him and manages to bring him daughters back into his good graces. When her enemies rise against her, Catelyn prevails, avoiding her predecessor's fate. Ever watchful, Catelyn writes a book and becomes the first Englishwoman to publish under her own name. With Henry's death, new dangers arise, and as does another chance at love. Your next nominee is Renee Rosen, the White Collar Girl. Four and a half stars. Rosen builds a realistic and fascinating backdrop that lures readers into the tempestuous world of journalism and one woman's fight to break through the glass ceiling. The setting showcases the strong heroine's relentless drive for equality, as well as the depths of corruption in the city during the 50s. Jordan Walsh dreams of working on a city desk. Since her brother's death in a hit and run, she's even more determined to work on newsworthy pieces. But the only job she can find is writing a column for the working girl covering her star sightings, society shindigs, and etiquette. It isn't until she finds a source for confidential information that Jordan is considered a viable reporter. Meanwhile, Jordan begins a passionate affair with a fellow newsman. However, when her career takes off, a rift forms between them. If she's going to succeed, and maybe she'll even be above him in rank in the newspaper business, will he still stick with her? Some men have a hard time with that. Will he be able to deal with her moving up in the ranks and him not? You have to read the book to find out. And your final nominee is Beatriz Williams. Along the Infancy. At the end of Tiny Little Thing, readers wondered who the mysterious woman was who brought a restored... who bought a restored 1930s Mercedes. Now we have the answer and more. In Williams' brilliant sequel, the sweeping story is not only impossible to put down and emotionally intense, but demonstrates Williams' mastery of the genre. In 1966, Pepper Shilas sells a pre-war Mercedes she restored. Pepper's plans on using the money to support herself and her unborn child. The result of an affair with a powerful politician, Annabelle Domerick, the buyer, insists Pepper stay with her in Florida. Pepper reminds Annabelle of herself when she fell in love with Stefan, a charismatic young Jew, only to lose him and then marry an older man on the rise in the German politics. Annabelle's life in World War II Germany calls out Pepper, and when the baby's father makes demands, it's Annabelle's determination that brings them both the freedom and the opportunity to love again. You again. There we go, that's better. Okay. So, let's see. Your nominees for Best Historical Fiction were Kristin Hannah, The Nightingale, Deeanne Gist, The Tiffany Girl, Gregory, Philippa, The Taming of the Queen, Renee Rosen, The White Collar Girl, and Beatriz Williams Along the Infinite Sea. And your winner is... the globe goes to The Tiffany Girl. Woohoo! Okay, so this is where I'm going to need your help. And this is where, if you are successful, I will do a short video thanking you for your assistance and show where you found it. Because I've got all the magazines for the year. We are now doing nominations for Best Contemporary Romance. And the first nominee is Julia London, The Perfect Homecoming. And I'll put a picture up here. I can't read the review because I can't find it. It's nominated for Best Contemporary Romance, and they only nominate books they've done in their magazine, all their top picks. I cannot find this book. It was published the last week in February, and the review is said to have been in March. I've been through all of March. I've been through all of April. In fact, I've been through all of 2015 and cannot find it. I even contacted the author and said, do you remember which month your review for Perfect Homecoming appeared in the Romantic Times Book Review magazine? She does not. She did not keep track of reviews. So I don't even know if she realized she'd been nominated. So, if anybody out there can find the review in Romantic Times Book Review magazine, please share it, because supposedly they did a review It's documented on Amazon website, but I cannot find it in Romantic Times Book Review magazine. And it was supposed to have been in March of 2015. It's not. I looked in, because she wrote 3 books that year. This book was the 3rd in the contemporary romance series she was doing. But she also wrote 2 Regencies. Both Regencies are reviewed in the magazine, and those I found. This is not even pictured in the magazine. I looked through all of 2016 of what I had, till July anyway. It's not there. So I challenge somebody to find the review in the magazine, and then if I have to have I have all the copies. I have January through December of 2015, and then I will be able to thank somebody for finding it for me and showing where they found it in the magazine, because I own the magazine. So I will do a short video thanking you, and it will follow. If somebody finds it, it will follow this video. It will air a couple hours after this one does, on the same day. But it's not here. So your first nominee is The Perfect Homecoming. I know this doesn't work. I'm going to put it up. I'll put it up here. The Perfect Homecoming. And Emily Tyler's cool exterior and penchant for sarcasm keep most people from getting too close. An unusual compulsion drives her to steal from the few men who do. When her trophy collecting habit goes too far, she quits her ritzy event planning job in Los Angeles and runs away to Pine River, hiding with her estranged sisters at Homecoming Ranch and caring for Leo Kenrick, her ailing friend. Thrill Seekers Anonymous co-founder Copper Jessup has his hands full with his work and his brother's looming prison release date. But when a client asks him to track down Emma Tyler to retrieve a stolen memento, Copper can't turn down the money or the chance to see the beautiful Emma again. When Copper comes to collect the item, Emma refuses to admit the horrible truth. She's a klepto? So let's see what happens there. See if you can find it for me. Your next nominee for contemporary romance is Sarah Morgan, and I will show you Romantic Times Review. Every single section in the magazine, with the exception of teen, is indexed. There is no Julia London listed for March, and this is March. And it would be one of these, the top pick. So Sarah Morgan, First Time for Forever. Is that the right one? March. Oh, we're doing contemporary. I'm thinking, I just showed you historical fiction. Here we go. Here's contemporary romance. Sorry. She's not there either. Take another look. Nope. Alright, First Time in Forever, Sarah Morgan. Morgan's genius shows in this emotional charged debut a poignant page turn about letting go, redemption, and trust. The book's co-stars wonderfully complement the vulnerable heroine and White Knight hero. And that's what I forgot to do. Feeling ill-equipped to care for her 6-year-old niece following the death of her Hollywood half-sister, Emily Donovan seeks refuge in the one place that harbors good memories. The zing of desire Emery feels for a local hottie sent to her help her is unwise but not unwanted. Ryan Cooper couldn't help Puffin Island couldn't escape Puffin Island fast enough after spending his youth raising a sibling. But when he needed sanctuary, it's the only place he considered. The one constant in his life, his persistence to stay uncommitted. But there's an emotionally damaged, beautiful newcomer who's changing all that. Oh, I got itch. I will need. Let's see. I had ordered this one, but it didn't show up in time. So we will live with picture. Oh, and just for the record, here's April. See, Miss London is not there either. What am I doing? Oh, Brenda Novak, This Heart of Mine. Yeah, I bet this book is in this pile someplace. I just don't see it. Brenda Novak, This Heart of Mine. Novak's Whiskey Creek novels are favored among romance readers because of their small-town charm and sweet storylines. This delightful novel particularly tugs on the heartstrings hard with its focus on family and second chances. Single father Riley Stinson is in search of true love and a suitable mother for his son Jacob. When he hears that his high school sweetheart is getting out of prison and returning to Whiskey Creek, he's not thrilled. Their time together wasn't always peaches and cream, and Jacob wasn't the only good thing to come out of their relationship. Their reunion is awkward to say the very least, but Riley and Phoenix agreed to do one thing, and that's make sure their son grows up with a healthy family. Back to you, Lauren Dane. And for me, Lauren belongs, I always think of her as in the E category. I don't think of her as a PG love story. I think of her in the erotica section of the magazine. That's just how I see her. Back to you. Each tale in the Hurley Boys series has been monumental, but this third installment is something special indeed. Keeping her plotline free of outside complications or distraction, Dane tells a story about what true love and forgiveness really mean, and about finding the person you always meant to be and to be with. There are few answers for those troubled protagonists, but the result is a romance that is utterly captivating, seductive, full of kind of raw emotion and sensuality that has made this series such a winner from the start. Von Hurley always knew that he was to blame for the collapse of his marriage. He was too young and too stupid to realize what he had lost, and too willing to use his rock star status to forget the pain. But when he learns that his ex-wife Kelly is engaged to another man, Von realizes he will never have another chance to make things right. Kelly has finally managed to pull the pieces of her life together and focus on being the kind of mother that her two daughters deserve. Can she risk her heart again? And Sarah Humphries. I do not, when I think of Sarah Humphries, I do not think of contemporary romance. I think of vampires. That's just how I think of her. So I just saw it. Oh, wait a minute. We're gonna do this later, but I'm just gonna show you. Way to go. Brave the heat. Humphrey's foray into contemporary romance is a winner. She brings the town to life with great details that will have readers immersed in the lives of the characters. The struggles that each character faces are relatable with an interesting mystery you will find reading fast. After a nasty divorce, Jordan McKenna moves back to Old Brookfield with her 2 daughters. One of her concerns is running into her teenage sweetheart, Gavin McGuire. Now the fire chief, Gavin, has been trying for years to come to terms with the death of a friend when they were children. When he sees Jordan for the first time since she left town, he realizes that he cares about her just as much as he did back then. Will they get back together? So, your nominees for Best Contemporary Romance: Julia London, of course, the big mystery here. Sarah Morgan, First Time in Forever. Brenda Novak, This Heart of Mine. Lauren Dane, Back to You. And Sarah Humphries, Brave the Heat. And the winner was the one that didn't show up. What page was that? And the winner goes, the Globe goes to Brenda Novak, This Heart of Mine. Okay. Your first nominee for Contemporary Mystery is Sarah Bladel, The Forgotten Girls. This is a standout book that will only solidify the author's well-respected standing in crime fiction. Bladel drops clues that will leave readers guessing right up until the reveal. Each new lead leaves an array of possibilities, and putting the book down becomes a feat this reviewer was unable to do. Louise Rick has taken a new position heading up a department assigned to help solving missing person cases. On her first day, she must ID a body that should be easy to identify based on the woman's distinctive scarring. But the only person matching that description died in a hospital for the disabled years ago, along with her twin sister. If she didn't, her twin is out there somewhere, and Louise is determined to find her. Book 2. CJ Box, Endangered. I keep picking these up, and then I keep putting them down because he's a game warden. If it wasn't for the fact that he was a game warden and I don't want to read about the killing of animals, I would read these. But every time I pick it up, I'm thinking he's a game warden and they deal with dead animals, and I don't want to deal with dead animals. So I put it back down again. Did I have the right one? No, I don't have the right one. Alright. I just don't. I don't want to deal with animals. The killing of animals, I just don't want to deal with them. Alright. CJ Box, Endangered. Box gets better with each book he writes, and Endangered is his best yet. The fear of every parent realized in this book. Readers will feel Joe Pigot's anguish when he's ordered to let law enforcement handle the investigation. Add in some truly nasty characters who may or may not have inside knowledge of the crime, and the result is a puzzle. Wyoming game warden Joe Pickett discovers the remains of several endangered game birds. When he receives the call every parent dreads, his adopted daughter has been found beaten on the side of the road and is not expected to survive. She's flown by helicopter to trauma center in Montana and kept in an induced coma so her injured brain can heal. Pickett knows who's responsible, but the evidence leads to someone else. Can the sheriff and Pickett go with their guts or go with the evidence? Was the evidence planted? So we'll see what happens there. Little Black Lies, Sharon Bolton. Bolton's latest standalone mystery is set in close-knit, some might call it claustrophobic community of Falkland Islands, where the people live close to the land and still fresh memories of 1982 Argentine invasion. The clever mystery and unusual setting would be enough to keep the pages turning, but the intricately drawn characters make it all worthwhile. Katrine Quinn lost her two sons in an accident several years earlier and blames her former best friend Rachel, who was watching them at the time. Caitlin's husband Ben has remarried and had a new baby, but Caitlin lives alone, nursing revenge fantasies and keeping her former lover Caleb, who suffers PTSD-related rage and blackouts, at arm's length. In the last 3 years, 3 children have gone missing nearby, and the community is uneasy, coming to believe that a human being rather than harsh landscape is to blame. Then, after Katrin is photographed performing an act of mercy that is misconstrued, the attention of the terrified islanders turned to her. And if you ever, this TV series was on a very short period of time. AVI Wachowski, Brushback. This high-octane, gritty thriller in V.I. Wachowski's delivers with a multifaceted plot. V.I. takes a beating as major players come at her from all angles, but her tough determination for justice makes her a dangerous adversary. V.I.'s former high school boyfriend, Frank Guzzi, requests her help to exonerate his recently released mother, who spent 25 years for prison for murdering her daughter. V.I. remembers Stella and her hatred for the Wachowski family. Reluctantly, V.I. agrees to ask a few questions. As she starts delving into the secrets behind Annie's murder, she uncovers deceptions that run all the way to the shady politician. When Stella announces she has Annie's diary implicating V.I.'s deceased cousin, V.I. knows it's a forgery. The stakes are rising, and her young charge Bernie disappears. V.I. must act quickly before another family is destroyed. And this last one is going to get a picture. Susan Chazin, A Blossom of Light. You know, some of the authors they choose for this are unknowns, and maybe they thought they were giving the author a boost in their career. And a lot of these authors disappear and you never hear from them again. There's quite a few. I found one the other day that the book it looked really, really intriguing. And then I looked it up and it's one of 2. I'm like, why get involved if it's only 2? I need my series. And it's 20 years old, so that's another reason, But anyways, if it was a consisting series, if it had gone on for 10 or 15 books, I might have picked it up. So you like A Blossom of Light. Chasm's second entry in the Jimmy Vega mystery series is amazing as her first. Once again, she tells a gripping story in a way that ensures the powerful topics such as race and hatred are still handled delicately. Detective Jimmy Vega once again finds himself thrust into a murder investigation, highlighting the racial tensions in upscale Lake Holland, New York. After a body is found at a gathering place for immigrants, the shocking cold-blooded murder stays with Jimmy as he works with his girlfriend Adele to solve the mystery by gaining the immigrants' population's trust. But that becomes more complicated when a secret Adele keeps threatens to tear them apart. Now the two must find a way not only to save the relationship, but also to confront a terrible killer. So, your nominees for Best Contemporary Mystery: Sarah Bladel, The Forgotten Girls; C.J. Box, Endangered; Sarah Bolton, Little Black Lies, Sarah Prensky, Rushback, and Susan Chazin, A Blossom of Light. And the Globe goes to The Forgotten Girls, Sarah Bladel. Your nominees for historical mystery are Shadow of the Raven. Dr. Thomas Silkstone's books have been an interesting and unique series. Set in 1784 and featuring autonomous colonists from America, Harris looks at Georgian England through the fresh eyes of an outsider. She displays her complete historical knowledge with her ease and graceful presentation of the times. In this fifth installment, the personal stakes have never been higher. Silkstone's love, Lady Lydia Farrell, has not exactly had an easy time. She's been married to a man suspected of murder, her worthless brother, and she feels compelled to try and save him. Despite his faults, all along Lady Farrell is forced to suffer the fate of a capable woman who is not allowed to control her own destiny. The story finds her confined to Bedlam, the notorious mental hospital, a convenient place to stash a woman trying to control her property. When Silkstone goes to appeal for help in releasing her, he finds the man taking over her estate has also made changes in the area, ruining the villages. A murder in the area complicates things as villagers' anger turns to violence. Book 2, Dreaming of Spies. Laurie King. The fabulous series with Mary Russell and her husband Sherlock Holmes continues with exotic settings and history. What was to be a peaceful voyage turns out into a tale of mysterious characters. After trying a case that took them through India, Mary and Sherlock are on having a rare vacation. On their way to California for business, they are going by steamer, stopping in Japan for a trip to a new place to Holmes. Mary is looking forward to rest, but upon boarding the ship, Holmes spots an English lord, a blackmailer, who escaped him in the past. Mary tries to distract him with lessons about Japan from a young Japanese woman's mysterious past, but Sherlock is obsessed with finding out what the lord is up to. Before the end of the story, they meet the Crown Prince of Japan and are drawn into events that could change the course of history. Viscount Sebastian St. Cyr and his wife Hero, and his father-in-law is his arch enemy, and his best friend is the coroner, and they have a couple kids now. I'm waiting for the new one. I should go look for it. I completely forgot about it. The mystery draws Sebastian St. Cyr, his wife Hero, into danger than ever before. Unbearably exciting, filled with historical details, multiple suspects, and unexpectedly Jane Austen. When plantation owner Stanley Preston is decapitated, it seems strange, but in personal case for Sebastian. Hero was working on a series of articles about the working poor of London. And I'm always saying each and every book, but why doesn't she do anything about it? Why doesn't she open a school? Or why doesn't she open an orphanage? Or she's filthy, filthy, filthy rich. She gives them a couple of coins for a couple of days. But why doesn't she help improve the area or do something else? She's doing all these newspaper stories, but do they actually do anything? Before long, she's drawn into the mystery and danger herself. Then Sebastian realizes his enemy from military days may be falling behind the killing. From the streets and the houses of London to the poor glittering walls of the London nobles, Sebastian endlessly works the truth before his wife and child are targeted by the killer. Oh, itch. Okay. A Gilded Grave. Shelley Frey don't. And I'm sorry. This new historical mystery captures the atmosphere of the grand parties and unscrupulous business dealings of the era. In the summer of 1895, when extravagant spending and luxurious parties abound, 18-year-old Deanna Randolph is experiencing her first Newport season with her family's faithful maid Elspeth as her confidant. Social teas, parties, and tennis matches are a bit boring, but when she attends a ball given in honor of the handsome sugar magnate and his sister, her season may prove to be more interesting than she thought. During the ball, Deanna and friends sneak away and discover the dead body of a young maid. Suspicion falls on the maid's boyfriend, Orrin, and the local inventor, Joseph Ballard. Deanna knows neither Orrin nor Joe are killers. With the help of Joe, Elizabeth, and policeman Will Hennessy, Deanna must plan an elaborate hoax to frighten a sinfully wicked killer into confessing. Let's see. And a Jade Dragon Mountain. I've got to stop doing this over the computer. Alyssa Hart. This is an unbelievable first historical mystery. I can only hope it is the beginning of an ongoing series. The writing is lyrically beautiful, intricate plot leads to an ending that is perfect and surprising. In 1708, on the border between China and Tibet, Li Du had been an imperial librarian until he was sent into exile by the emperor. He has roamed China since, and now he has arrived on the border of Tibet. To his dismay, he finds his cousin, the magistrate and emperor, coming to command an eclipse of the sun. Then an elderly Jesuit astronomer who has come for the ceremony is murdered. The magistrate is frantic to clear up any possible scandal before the emperor comes and commands Li Du to find the murderer. So, your nominees for historical mystery were Tessa Harris, Shadow of the Raven, Laurie R. King, Dreaming of Spies, C.S. Harris, Who Buries the Dead, Shelley Freydon, A Gilded Grave, and Alyssa Hart, The Jaded Dragon. And as you could tell from the review, the globe goes to Jaded Dragon. I don't know. My pal here deserves an honorable mention. Okay. Your nominations for suspense mysteries. I don't know why, but anyways, if you have not seen all of my reviews, starting, I did the reviews in 2024, and because I did them in 2024, I didn't do them in 2025, and they're my emotionally support books. I have a couple different authors that get me through hard times. J.D. Robb is one of those authors, and Janet, Stephanie Plum, and Janet D. Leon, the Fortune series. Those get me through. Those are my comfort books. And I couldn't do them in 2025 because I'd already done them in 2024. I'd done the whole series. So, starting with Christmas of this previous Christmas and continuing the entire rest of this year, every single Saturday, we are reading my J.D. Robb. I am spoiling the characters. I'm not telling you about the mystery. Go watch the reviews for those kind of things. I am spoiling the characters. We're talking about all the progression the characters make, all the promotions they get, all the children they have, all the boyfriends they have, all the cool quotes, all the Peabody, lose pants. Eve rolling her eyes as she sees Peabody and McNabb kiss, and she gets an eye twitch. All the stuff with Nadine and the donuts and the sign in the office. Eve is a lieutenant in the New York Police and Security Department. Rourke is her husband. Peabody is her partner. Starts as an aide, ends up as a partner. Peabody's real-life cohab is McNabb. He's a detective in EDD. Whitney is the boss. Mira is the department shrink. We see Dr. Mira in a few books. He's focused. Nadine is the reporter. Mavis is her best friend, who's now a rock star. We see all that. We talk about all that stuff that's going on. Leonardo Mavis's husband, the designer. We go through all of those, and this is my favorite series. And if I'm going to give an award, it's going to be to this book. It's spoilered. It's not the winner, but I don't care. It's still my favorite. Favorite author. So, anyways, one of these days I'll let you know which one is my favorite book. I have a couple. It takes an astonishing talent to keep a series exciting and compelling for 40 books, but that is what superstar Rob has done with The Flat. The 40th title will force Lieutenant Eve Dallas to look at her career and life as she hunts for a fan who's obsessed with her has turned deadly. Lieutenant Eve Dallas and partner Detective Peabody arrive at the murder scene. They are confronted by a message to Eve written on the wall above the body of an attorney, Leonore Bastwick. The message claims, as Eve's true and loyal friend, the murderer felt compelled to kill Bastwick for the disrespect that she showed Eve. Eve fears that no matter what she does, the ultimate fan will continue to kill. Yeah, she kills all the people and all the lawyers that Eve went up against in court that the true fan believes wronged Eve. Chrissy Picture. This author, she's really superior. But damn, trying to get a hold of her books. So Picture Chrissy. Ware's debut novel sets the stage. This is her debut? Oh my god. Oh my god. I didn't realize this was her debut. You try finding the person in cabin 10 or something. Good lord. All of her books. She's really good. Ware's debut novel sets the stage for her to become a household name. The glass house set in the middle of the forest is the perfect setting for this book full of secrets and lies. When Lenora Shaw gets an invitation to her former best friend's bridal shower, she's taken back. She hasn't spoken to Claire for 10 years. As interactions between the guests become increasingly awkward, Nora wants nothing more than to go home. Then she finds strange footsteps in the snow. The maid of honor is on the verge of a breakdown, and Nora knows someone is hiding something. When she wakes up in the hospital a few days later, she can't remember what happened or why she was covered in blood. Another lady that we have done on this YouTube series, we've done them all. We did all 27 Sherlock and Savick novels, and then we did the 6 FBI novels. And this is one of the FBI Europe British novels. The suspense lovers can rejoice at the third and fantastic installment of the A Brit series in the FBI. This talented duo continues to produce books that are increasingly complex, filled with layered characters, and heart-stopping in their suspense. Nicholas Drummond and Mike Cain, it's Michaela, but she likes to go by Mike. Growing partnership helps anchor the flat-out intensity of the action-set series. FBI agent Nicholas Drummond and Mike Cain are called to investigate a bomb at New Jersey's refinery. It is suspected that the celebrants of the COE are responsible until now. COE has made sure no human casualties. When a secondary device nearly kills Nicholas and Mike, they realize something has changed. Then a cyber attack on a number of major oil companies causes severe problems. And go see my review of this book if you want to know more. And actually do the whole series. Start with, what is it, Target or The Cove and The Maze. Those are the first couple. And continue through the whole series. Double Take, Blowout, Power Play, all of them. What You See. Hank, Philippa, Ryan. Romantic Times Book Review liked her a lot. They did quite a few full page spreads on her. What You See. Award winner Ryan is a master at her craft. She continues her Jane Ryland series with Jane and Jake Brogan, covering another case that leaves them at odds romantically. After parting ways with a second-rate newspaper, Jane feared she'd never get another shot at reporting. Her first assignment involves a stabbing. She runs into an admirer who claims to have photos of the entire incident, but family emergency interrupts the interview. Jane attempts to juggle her private life with her professional obligations. Struggling to salvage her job and faced with unemployment, she believes family comes first. Can she balance both? And your final nominee, and to tell you the truth, this particular author, he's still writing, he's still out there. I don't believe he belongs in mystery. Alright, there may be a mystery in the book, but I don't believe he belongs in mystery. I believe this royal being and his royal friend, Mr. King, need horror. HORROR. They need their horror section. They don't need to be in mystery. They need to be in HORROR. That's where they belong. In horror. Take their New York Times best-selling butts to horror and get out of mystery. Alright, there may be a mystery. I don't care. They belong in horror. Dean Koontz. Ashley Bell. Throughout his long and outstanding career, Koontz has made a habit of melding and crossing genres to create his own brand of unforgettable fiction. Oh, and this was a... You're gonna do this. Come on. I'm sorry about the noise. They got a gold star. Gold. So I wonder who the winner is. B.B. Blair's doctor tells... yeah, I already did him. B.B. Blair's doctor tells her she has a form of brain cancer and only a year to live. When B.B. makes a miraculous overnight recovery, everyone is astonished, struggling to understand what has happened. B.B. consults with a woman named Claudia Butterfly, who convinces her that she escaped death because she has a mission to save someone named Ashley Bell. Who is Ashley Bell? That's the mystery to find out. And good luck. Look how thick this book is. But I'm telling you, he belongs in horror. Alright. So. He had a 5-star. Well, not a 5-star. He had 4.5 stars. He was a gold pick. A gold pick. He didn't get 5 stars. There was one author, we talked about it somewhere in the videos. I made a big deal out of it. It was the only author that I saw that had gotten 5 stars. But he got 4.5 stars and a gold seal. And a gold seal. And he's not the winner. Suspense. J.D. Robb, Obsession and Death, my pick. Ruth Ware, In a Dark, Dark Wood, my second pick. Catherine Coulter, The Endgame. Hank Philippa Ryan, What You See. And Dean Koontz, Ashley Bell. And the winner is Ruth Ware, In a Dark, Dark Wood. The Globe goes to Christy Fisher, Ruth Ware, In a Dark, Dark Wood. Okay. I'd like to point out the fact that there is no horror and thriller sections in Romantic Times book review. But anyway, they've decided to nominate um, J.T. Ellison for Best Thriller, first nominee. What Lies Behind? Picture, Chrissy, picture. Ellison just keeps getting better and better. The new addition to Dr. Samantha Owen series further develops the ensemble of complex characters who play off each other nicely. This would make a fine beach read, except with all the fast pace and thrills. The action all takes place in 24 hours. After leaving the medical examiner position, Dr. Samantha Owen is teaching forensic medicine at Georgetown and working for the FBI. Sam wakes up in the night to sirens and flashing lights. Shortly thereafter, homicide detective Darren Fletcher asks her to look at the crime scene. They discover a staged crime scene and vitals of virulent diseases. One of the victims was an undercover FBI agent. Assassins are taking out all of her recent contacts, and Sam and Fletcher are horrified to learn that bioterrorism is one of the plots. Okay. And Patrick Lee, Signal. Lee has written a thriller that will be remembered as one of the best of the year. Readers who enjoy complex puzzles will get an extra kick out of trying to work out the major dilemma former Special Ops agent Sam Dryden is forced to solve. A woman from Sam Dryden's old unit calls him in the middle of the night seeking help. She doesn't give him any context for the mission, just hands him a gun, and he assists her in raiding a remote trailer. Afterwards, she tells him the story about the amazing thing her new employer has discovered. Now, other forces want this technology, and they will silence anyone who knows the truth. See what happens there. Corrupted. Lisa Scottoline. This is heavy. Scottoline is at the top of her game with this take on past wrongs. There are tons of emotions from betrayal and anger to love and forgiveness. Attorney Bernie Rosato is called late one night by Jason Leftovic, who was a 12-year-old boy when she resented him 12 years ago. Jason and a bully at school were arrested and sent to River Street, a terrible juvenile detention center. Everything about the case was so wrong that Benny teamed up with the uncle of the bully, State Trooper Declan Mitchell, to get the boys out. During this time, Benny and Declan started a relationship. One day, Declan decides that his nephew is more important and calls it off. Now, 13 years later, they are brought back together when Jason is charged with the murder of his longtime nephew tormentor, Declan's nephew. What goes around comes around, I guess. And, I could see this book getting lots of critical acclaim. We've done it a couple times in Flashback Monday. The Bone Labyrinth, James Rowland. Some of the discoveries may be a little over the top, but it makes for a rollicking good time. A Signiforce operates rush to decipher an ancient mystery, rescue scientists, and save mankind. The endearing character of a young gorilla draws an emotional response and a potent reminder of the consequences of animal experiments. Simultaneous attacks at archaeological site in Croatia and a primate research facility in Atlanta appear unrelated, except that two of the scientists, one in each location, are twin sisters. The attacks appear to be attempts to kidnap the sisters and the intelligent young gorilla they have been studying. The gorilla's DNA is related to ancient relics that provide clues to the development of the human species. Okay. And The time of departure, Douglas Schofield. Schofield delivers a whopping complex tale. What seems to be a straightforward legal thriller has more elements in play than is obvious at first, but will all make sense when the last pages turn. State Prosecutor Claire Talbot receives what appears to be stolen evidence from a cop who was disgraced years earlier for how he handled an investigation that happened before she was born. This former police officer seems to know more about her than she knows about herself, and the material he provides on the cold case only further indicates he is probably the killer who has eluded him for 30 years. So, your nominees for Best Thriller: J.T. Ellison, What Lies Behind; Patrick Lee, Signal; Lisa Scatterline, Corrupted; James Rowlands, The Bone Labyrinth; and Douglas Schofield, The Time of Departure. And the Globe goes to The Bone Labyrinth. Okay. Your nominees for Amateur Sleuth. Finally, one of my authors ends up an Amateur Sleuth. Finally! Mandoline, Wicked Stitch. This is another fun, cozy, the embroidery mystery series. It combines a set of supportive friends who are not without complications. Embroidery store owner Marcy Singer, her dog Angus, and gorgeous detective Ted Nash are caught in a mystery. Nellie Davis has hated Marcy since she moved into the store. Nellie wanted for her sister Clara. Now Clara is opening an embroidery store next to Macy's. The town is busy preparing for Ren's Fair, and the sisters' booth will be next to Macy's. Before the fair opens, Macy finds Clara murdered in the booth. Okay. My author. We have done some of these books on my channel. Go check them out. Katie Carlisle. Carlisle takes readers on a journey that spans 70 years. The story that she paints of the treasures Brooklyn and Derek find is intriguing and mysterious. With no idea of what will happen next, readers will be surprised at what really took place all those years ago. Brooklyn Wainwright and Derek Stone take off to her parents' house while their apartment is being renovated. While visiting, they decide to attend the excavation of a wine cave at the local vineyard where her father and brothers work. Oh, I remember this. Go check out my review. During the excavation, a room is discovered as well as a body. Brooklyn and Derek are asked to investigate the origins of the items and discover that they are treasures that was brought over to America from France right before a Nazi invasion of a small town. Oh, I love this book. It's good. That's my nomination. Gone but not forgotten. All in pink. Characters are brilliantly written in vivid, entertaining situations. Marx takes a group of 50-year-old women and shows them as heavy-duty quilters in one scene and gun-wielding super sleuths in another. Mary Rose gets a phone call out of the blue that she has been named executor of her childhood friend Harriet Oliver's estate. Martha puts on her sleuth hat when she discovers that someone has been embezzling funds from Harriet's account and that some of the more priceless items are missing from the house. Add an abusive husband whose body is discovered in Harriet's backyard, and the fact that Harriet's body wasn't discovered and she'd been dead for 10 months. There's a mystery to be had here. Okay, and Yarned and Dangerous. Sadie Hartwell. With a secretive cast of secretive suspects in their sleepy town, Hartwell's latest skillful knits together the ideal amateur sleuth. The long-standing feud between curmudgeonly neighbors provides delightful humor. Newly unemployed fashion designer Jose Blair returns to Dorset Falls to care for her injured uncle and accepts the daunting task of selling his late wife's knitting shop and its contents. When a body is found in the storeroom, things heat up. And, to brew or not to brew? I know I've had this book. I know it's in this house. I just could not find it. I know it's here. I know it's here. I've seen it. To brew or not to brew? I know it's here. I just can't find it. I just saw it. To brew or not to brew? Joyce Trammell. This charming debut novel stands out with a brewy setting that offers a unique twist on topical books with the same genre. The daughter of a homicide detective, Maxine Max O'Hara, is about to achieve her dream of opening her own craft brew pub. Suspicious accidents appear to thwart her progress at every turn. Accidents that get deadly serious when she finds Kurt, her assistant brewmaster and head chef, murdered in the brewery. So, your nominees for Best Amateur Sleuth: Amanda Lee, Wicked Stitch; Kate Carlisle, Ripped from the Pages; Mary Marks, Gone But Not Forgotten; Sadie Hartwell, Yarned and Dangerous; and Joyce Trammell, To Brew or Not to Brew. And the Globe getter is Mary Marks, Gone But Not Forgotten. Okay, your nominees for Paranormal Romance: Janine Frost, Bound by Flames, top pick. The great news is that it's time for the next Night Prince novel, and it's everything we hope for. The learning curve for marriage between passionate Vlad and Leela is proving to be a bit steep, and it doesn't help that they are still under attack. Their honeymoon is turning a bit rocky as Vlad and new vampire Leela continue to clash over how involved Leela should be in trying to help find their arch enemy Slizzy. Unfortunately, Slizzy has had centuries to plot his assaults, so Vlad and his crew are playing catch-up. When an unexpected attack destroys one of Vlad's castles and leads to Layla's capture, Leela knows it will take everything she has to try and survive. But will it be enough? Oh, a naked guy on the cover. Right. Well, we will talk about this chick. I'm gonna have to go back and read these stories because I want to know why they're getting so many awards. I just don't buy it. So I'm just gonna have to go back and read them. But I got this problem here because when I think of this chick, I'm thinking vampires, and we talked about this before. Contemporary romance over here with a fireman. I'm sorry, she's the vampire lady for me. That's who she is. And naked guy on the cover. But I'm gonna have to go look at these because I'm trying to figure out why these got so many nominations. Humphreys has outdone herself with this fun tale of opposing attracting. When a centuries-old vampire and the future king of the werewolves meet, there's instant chemistry. The two typically warring races have a shaky treaty, but this match could put a swift end to that. Vampire Sadie Pemberton has taken over running the Cove, a hot New York nightclub. With all the work at the club, she hardly has any time for herself. It gets even tougher when the future king of the werewolves, Gillian Bane, decides that the club will be his new hangout. Sadie isn't pleased, to say the least. The two bump heads whenever they are together, but it quickly becomes clear that the conflict between them are coming out of their forbidden but totally unattainable, undeniable attraction. I just don't know what the hook is there. Grave Phantoms. I don't get it. Emerging star Bennett lucky readers this wonderful third installment of her outstanding Roaring Twenties series. On a break from college, Astrid returns home to San Francisco to visit her family and find out why her longtime pal Bo has stopped communicating with her. Astrid is down on the docks to confront Bo when a mysterious yacht crashes into the Magnus Pier. 6 white, robbed, and confused people exit the yacht, but the kicker is that the boat and these people have been missing for a year. When Astrid finds a turquoise figure on the floor, she experiences a jolt and suddenly has visions of a strange ceremony taking place on the yacht. Bo is frantic at Astrid's collapse, for although he knows their love is forbidden, he can't help but ache for her. Lindsay Piper. Chrissy picture. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, I got one. Here we go. This one here. I don't know how well you can see it. Hey, Chrissy, put up a picture anyway. Maybe. See how that looks on screen on the playback. Girl on her hands and knees. It took a year and a half for this sequel, and it was worth every bit of the wait. Mal was introduced in the first book, and his past and struggles to lead his people, when he's known mostly as the usurper, makes for delicious angst. Two people known mostly by their sobriquet are forced together to bring an end to cruel support of cage fights, employed by the 5 clans of the Dragon Kings, all attempting to win a chance at having children. But as Mal finally takes the mantle of Giva, which some don't believe he should have, and the pet, once a slave to a crime organization guarding the secrets of procreation, emerges from his cell, they have to learn to trust each other. This doesn't... It doesn't sound anything like worth any nomination, but what do I know? Primal Heat. Arthur, AC Arthur. Shifters, hybrids, and rogues, oh my. The Shadow Shifters world is in danger, and the series entry is the most explosive to date. As the Shadows intensify their training, Eli feels he cannot give in to his attraction to Neva. The threats to the stateside assembly are growing, and he cannot afford the distraction. Neva has been a guard for 6 years, and her dedication is unwavering. Her parents, however, are another matter. Ironically, the childhood abuse that she suffered gave her the leverage to leave her home, but her father's current treachery threatens their entire world. And Archangel's Enema. It's happy dance time. The incomparable Singh finally reveals the origins of the fascinating feral Nasir. Nasir's presence as an intriguing secondary character has quickly made him a fan favorite. After watching his friends and other members of the 7 find their mates, Nasir has been actively hunting for his. He's also a tad annoyed that she is being so elusive. When word of a plot by Lucian to kill a sleeping ancient reaches Archangel Raphael, he sends Nasir to work with angelic scholar Andromeda. Nasir and Andromeda are tracked to obscure leads into an attempt to find Alexander's resting place first. For Nasir, this job is serious. Upon sending Andromeda, he realizes she's his mate. Figures. Okay. Your nominees for Paranormal Romance: Janine Frost, Bound by Flames; Sarah Humphries, Vampire Never Cry Wolf; Jen Bennett, Grave Phantoms; Lindsay Piper, Haunted Warrior; A.C. Arthur, Primal Heat; and Nalin Singh, Archangel's Anima. And your globe goes to Vampires Never Cry. Don't know. Paranormal world building. I chose to do this one because I knew the authors. Alright. First nominees, my gal pal up here. Let's see. Viper. Superstar Feehan takes a long-running Ghostwalker series and introduces a new cast of highly intriguing characters who are sure to be stars of their own books. Wyatt returns to his Nani's home in the bayou to discover something is very wrong. Thankfully, Wyatt has brought his ghost worker buddies Malachi and Ezekiel Fortunes with him. Something odd is happening at the plastics plant that has been turned into a fortress, but there are armaments to keep something out or keep something in. Wyatt and his friends encounter a desperate young woman called Pepper and the dangerous toddler she protects. Wyatt and Pepper feel an instant attraction, but can they give it into their attraction with so much at stake? When Darkness Ends. I could think of so many other better books, but anyway. 4.5 stars. Sadly, all good things must come to an end, and this 12th volume, Ivy's Guardian of Eternity series, is deeply worthy and satisfying finale. After helping fellow clan chief Rock find his mate, Sin, this vampire clan chief of Ireland is suddenly and unexpectedly transported back to his private lair. Transported with Fallon, a princess of the Shakri. Neither are happy about it, but their concern grows when they learn that they have been brought together by Sala the Oracle. Sala subjects that someone or something is tampering with the commission. All the members are experiencing gaps of times, having unforeseen forcible, able to control the entire commission, can spell disaster for all the worlds, and they must race against time to discover it. And Shadows End. It's not. Sorry. Okay. Hold on a second. Okay. Picture Grizzy. Feel the burn. G.A. Atkin. A sinister plot is simmering under the surface in the various kingdoms and is starting to worry Queen Anne. The Bloody and Dragon Queen Rihanna from the newest Dragonkin novel, uber talented Aiken puts together two unlikely combustible protagonists by having the worlds of Daughter of the Steeps, Kaye, collide with Gaius, the one-eyed rebel Dragon King. Having followed her sister Elena into exile, Keke is currently bored silly. As it happens, Queen Anne is enraged by God Charmer's cult following, who are attacked his temples across her kingdom and killing the priests and priestesses. Anne asks Kaye to hunt down and slaughter the cultists, a task Kaye happily accepts. Meanwhile, the rebel Dragon King Gaius is ambushed by the cultists. Trapped in human form and slowly dying, Gaius is rescued by Kaye's team. The cultists are planning something big. Can Kaye and Gaius figure it out in time and stop it? Alright, the last book. Shadows End. Thea Harrison. A remarkable Harrison pulls out all the stops with his amazing new novel. And get your box of Kleenex. This tragedy. I don't read books that make me have tissues. I don't like to read books that make me sad. I want read books for escape. The 200 years ago in London, Graydon helped Bavo, the consort of Elven High Lord, save her stepson Farron, who was indebted to the vicious Dinjan. At that time, Graydon and Belleville fell in love. However, as part of their debt deal to save Farron, they were to stay apart forever. Events have now taken a dangerous turn, for Farron is new elf Hyven Lord, and Mal has a soul lien, which means he can compel Farron's actions. See what happens there. Alright, so your nominees for Paranormal World Building are Christine Hannah, Viper, Alexandra Ivy, When Darkness Ends, G.A. Aiken, Feel the Burn, and Shadows End, Thea Harrison. And the winner is Shadows End, Thea Harrison. I don't agree, but I just don't. I'd have done one of these two. Dang, look how thick that is. Okay, your final awards for this today are Urban Fantasy, Lisa Sharon, Dragon Conspiracy. Sorry. Four and a half stars. Keeping the human population in the dark about the paranormal creatures among them is one of the Supernatural Protection Investigation primary tasks. The mission is about to get monumentally harder in the second incredible installment of the Rising Sharon's SPI files. Seer and new SPI agent McKenna Fraser is dancing the night away at a gala opening at the Metropolitan Art Museum. It's all for work, of course, because the first time in a very long time, 7 cursed diamonds known as the Dragon Eggs have been brought together. SPI heard rumblings that there might be a robbery attempt. So McKenna, her partner, Ian Brandt, and some of their other fellow team members are on a stakeout. The stone's current owner is a dragon and Russian crime boss victim, whom everyone suspects is up to something. When a statue of 3 harpies comes to life, it attacks the crowd and steals the gems. Inciting mass panic and chaos, even worse in the hands of the right mage, these stones could pose horrific danger to many of the supernatural community. See what happens there. One of my authors who you have seen on this channel quite often, Patricia Briggs, Dead Heat. The incomparable Briggs is back with the latest installment in her Alpha Omega series featuring mated werewolves Charles and Anna. After a longtime human friend Joseph Sandy calls, Charles decides to kill 2 birds with 1 stone by taking Anna to Arizona both to see about buying her a horse and to visit his old buddy Joseph. Although Joseph's father is a werewolf pack alpha, Joseph, now elderly, those to remain human and is dying of cancer. Anna and Charles have barely arrived when a magical attack is launched at Joseph's daughter-in-law and grandchildren. It appears a very powerful and very dangerous fae is hunting human children in the area. Can they save everybody? Gin and juice. Purple. Nicole Peeler. Rising Star Peeler returns with a new Pittsburgh set upon fantasy series featuring a cursed genie. After a millennia, Lila is within days of having a curse broken and becoming human again. Unfortunately, a magi hunting for a djinn appears during Lila's dance routine at the club Purgatory, and Lila is bound once more, but her new master is not what she expects. Oz Sawyer is on a mission to find a missing girl named Tamia. Oz knew nothing about Magi's heritage until he was initiated in Afghanistan by Tammy's family. Oz promises to free Lila as soon as they find Tammy, but cynical Lila doubts it. Can they do it? Magic shifts. Leona Andrews. After completing updating Kate and Kern's lives in the astonishing previous novel, Andrew explores her protagonist's new reality. To stop her godlike father, Roland, from magically claiming Atlanta, Kate inadvertently claimed it for herself, so now stuck being its protector. To stop a further confrontation with Roland, Curran agrees to step down as Beast Lord of the Pack. Surprisingly, giving up the pack is not the big of a sacrifice, as Curran craves some freedom, but he does need to find an outlet for his cunning and energy. Then Werebear George shows up, worried sick about his fiancée, Arwado the Were Bison. Arwado has disappeared and the pack won't look for him. So they have to take the case. And picture, Chrissy. Picture. We need a picture here. I haven't seen this author in such a long time. Dragonbane's in here. Sherilyn Kenyon. I don't know why they didn't choose her for any of this. Or Amanda Ashby's Night Surrender. Or any of these other books. But they didn't. Crucible Zero. Devin Monk. Monk's fabulous House Immortal series is inventive, multifaceted, and contains just enough detail to flesh out her world without ever bogging down the narrative. Practically immortal, Matilda Case has galvanized, giving her body the ability to heal itself. Though she may not think of herself as a hero, she's the only one with the ability to time travel, and as a result, only she can save the world. No pressure, right? Trapped in an alternate universe, Matilda's world is in danger of disappearing. And now Matilda must face a fearsome foe, a man who can also time travel through history and who's bent on her destruction. And the final book, we've done these, and it's a good series. It's a good series. The character progression is amazing. I think it's awesome. But I don't get its nominee. It's nominated for this award. And that's on the same page as J.R. Ward's Blood Kiss or Kelsey Cole's Sweet Ruin. I just can't deal with that. I just can't deal with it. Or Jacqueline Frank's Bound in Darkness. Or Kate McCallis's Dragon Storm. They're just, I don't know. Topic. The rule seems to be if you are anywhere in Kitty Cat Martini's vicinity, batten down the hatches because you just know things are going to get both hazardous and wacky. After returning from their unexpected trip to another galaxy, Kit and her husband AC Jeff are trying to adjust to the fact that Jeff is Vice President of the United States and to keep a surreptitious eye on Cliff Gorman, who they know is the evil mastermind. When Kitty's assassin uncle sent Nightcrawler Sala and his teenage adopted daughter Lizzie in for protection, Kitty figures something as big as brewing. The fact the Planetary Council is also making an unexpected visit is a bit worrying. So, your nominees for urban fantasy novel was The Dragon Conspiracy by Lisa Sharon, Patricia Briggs' Dead Heat, which I think should be the winner, but it's not. Gin Juice, Nicole Peeler, Magic Shifts, Alona Andrews, which again should be up there. Crucible Zero, Devin Monk, and Jeannie Cock, Alien Chief. And the Globe goes to Conspiracy, the Dragon Conspiracy, Lisa Sharon. And that's the end of that. That's the end of Flashback Monday as we know it. So next week we're going to Flashback Monday new releases for August of 2016. Then we'll do September, October, November, December, and we'll work our way up to present. And then I need to figure out what to do with Flashback Monday. If anybody has any suggestions or ideas, please let me know. And please hit the like and subscribe. If there's anything else you want to see in Romantic Time Book Reviews, if you can solve the mystery, I'd appreciate it. Have a good day and enjoy.